Love is a complex and evolving emotion, and relationships naturally go through phases of highs and lows. However, there comes a point when the love that once connected two people begins to fade, and one partner may no longer feel the same. When this happens, the signs are often there, sometimes subtle and sometimes painfully obvious. While no single sign confirms that your partner has fallen out of love, a combination of these behaviors can indicate that something has changed, and the relationship may no longer be what it once was. One of the clearest signs that your partner does not love you anymore is emotional distance. When someone falls out of love, they stop sharing their thoughts, feelings, and daily experiences with their partner. Conversations that once felt deep and meaningful become shallow or almost non-existent. They may seem uninterested in your day, avoid discussing personal matters, or simply respond with one-word answers. When love fades, so does the emotional connection, leaving you feeling like you are living with a stranger rather than a partner. Another painful indication is a noticeable lack of affection. Physical touch is a natural way of expressing love, whether through hugs, kisses, holding hands, or even just small gestures like touching your shoulder while passing by. When these gestures disappear, it can be a sign that your partner no longer feels the same warmth toward you. If they pull away when you try to touch them, avoid intimacy, or seem uncomfortable with physical closeness, it's often a sign that their feelings have changed. Indifference is another major red flag. When someone stops caring about the little things, it often means they have emotionally checked out of the relationship. If your partner no longer gets upset about arguments, doesn't bother to fix problems, or doesn't seem interested in making you happy, it could mean they no longer value the relationship the way they once did. Love is about caring, and when that care disappears, it often means the love has. 2. Frequent irritation and criticism can also indicate a loss of love. When someone no longer has affectionate feelings, they may become overly critical of their partner, focusing on flaws that never bothered them before. They may pick fights over trivial things, make sarcastic comments, or constantly point out what you are doing wrong. This often happens because they are frustrated with the relationship but don't know how to express it. Instead of addressing their true feelings, they become negative and resentful, making the relationship feel more like a battleground than a loving partnership. Another heartbreaking sign is when they stop making an effort. A loving partner will always try to maintain the relationship, whether through small surprises, planning date nights, or simply making time for you. If your partner no longer puts in any effort, it could mean they don't see the relationship as worth investing in anymore. They might cancel plans, stop doing thoughtful things for you, or no longer try to keep the romance alive. When love is present, effort is natural, but when it fades, so does the desire to nurture the relationship. A shift in priorities is another key indicator. If your partner suddenly seems more interested in spending time with friends, focusing on work, or engaging in hobbies while consistently leaving you out, it could mean that you are no longer an important part of their life. Of course, everyone needs personal space and time for themselves, but when someone who once prioritized you now consistently places you at the bottom of their list, it's often because their feelings have changed. Another painful realization is when they no longer share their future plans with you. When someone loves you, they naturally include you in their dreams and long-term goals. They talk about future vacations, plans for a home, or even just what the weekend will look like. But when that stops, and they start making plans without considering you, it can mean that they no longer see you as part of their future. If they avoid discussions about commitment, ignore conversations about the next steps in your relationship, or seem hesitant when you bring up the future, it may be because they don't want to build one with you anymore. Lack of communication is another major warning sign. In a healthy relationship, couples talk about their problems, express their emotions, and work through difficulties together. But when one person falls out of love, they may no longer feel the need to communicate. They may ignore your concerns, refuse to engage in serious conversations, or simply seem uninterested in resolving conflicts. This silence often speaks louder than words, showing that they no longer see the relationship as something worth fighting for. A significant sign of lost love is when they stop supporting you. Love means being each other's biggest cheerleader, offering encouragement during difficult times, and celebrating each other's successes. If your partner no longer seems interested in your achievements, doesn't comfort you when you're struggling, or even downplays your feelings, it could mean that their emotional investment in the relationship has disappeared. When someone truly loves you, they want to see you happy and succeed, but when love fades, so does their desire to be your source of support. One of the most painful signs is when they seem happier without you. If your partner appears more joyful, relaxed, or full of life when you're not around but seems cold or distant when you are, it's a clear indication that something is wrong. Love should bring happiness, not discomfort or resentment. If they seem relieved when they get time away from you or appear to enjoy life more when you're not involved, it could mean that they no longer find happiness in the relationship. Recognizing these signs can be heartbreaking, but it's important to face the truth rather than hold on to something that no longer exists. If you see several of these behaviors in your partner, it may be time to have an honest conversation about where your relationship is heading. Love should be mutual, filled with care, affection, and effort from both sides. If those elements are missing, it may be time to ask yourself whether staying in the relationship is truly the best choice for your happiness.